Welcome back. Happy Friday. You made it through the week and you've made it through 100% of your worst days, and you'll make it through your next ones. Hang in there. It's not easy for everybody. I've been through tough times myself, and you can make it through. Keep things in perspective. Everything's not as good as they seem, and they're not as bad as they seem. So just try and remain level-headed. Before we get going, though, I want to just make sure you understand something and take care of a little housekeeping here. I am not Dave Chappelle. I am not Eddie Murphy. I'm not Jerry Seinfeld. I'm not Brian Regan. I'm not Chris Rock. And I'm not your financial advisor. Do your own work. I'm just some guy on the internet sharing with you my DeFi and crypto journey. I'm not your friend. I'm just some dude out here on YouTube. So keep it in perspective. Do your own research. Don't risk more than you can afford to lose. And that's it. Those are some of my favorite comedians, by the way. Not all of them, but just some of my top ones. And you may or may not agree. But anyway, that being said, apologies for not getting something out on earlier this week. My wife and daughter came down with that illness that comes from the global health issue we've been having. I don't want to say it because it hurts your the algorithm, and I don't have comments enabled because just because I don't want to manage community and don't want people to get scammed with the bots and things. But anyway, I also don't, so that hurts my algorithm chances for things getting out there, but don't want to hurt it by mentioning that health issue. So anyway, that being said, I was kind of obviously taking care of them, and then running my son around because he doesn't have a license yet, blah blah blah. You don't want to hear about that. So but anyway, that's it. Plus, I don't care. I put things out when I want to. If I have to manage and work super hard and edit and spend 4 or 5 hours a day, putting YouTube videos up, it's not passive income. And that's what this channel is about, compounding passive income. So let's jump right into it, and we'll get you off on your Friday. Hopefully you can enjoy your weekend. The first thing is going to probably, make people mad. It's still true. And I told you my main thing, if you're following me, it's because I'm going to tell you the truth. So the first two bullets are going to, maybe make people mad. I don't care. I'm just speaking, But the drip community is not big, relatively speaking, and that's good and bad, right? So if you compare, I think we have about 120 some thousand different wallets, and those are probably multiples as well. I know I have at least 3, drip wallets myself. I have 3 drip wallets myself, right? So that being said, 100,000 is not a lot when you compare that to, ETH and the Bitcoin maxis and the audience that they follow. XRP, the XRP army is huge, and I know that because Flare Networks is getting ready to do their airdrop when they took their snapshot back in December of 2021, or actually 2020 is when they took the snapshot. They're distributing to over 3 million different wallets. 3 million, right? We'll talk about Flare here in a second, right? But that being said, it's DeFi, so there's a small amount of people that are involved in crypto, globally. A real small amount. I want to say it's like 300 million. I heard some stat the other day. I can't remember if Raul Powell was talking about it. Somebody was talking about it, and don't quote me on it. Do your own research on that, right? But again, so crypto in general is small compared to the world population. You can Google what that is right now. I think 6-8 billion, something like that. It's pretty large. But everyone's gonna be using crypto here. They just are, right? And then there's an even smaller percentage of us that are involved in DeFi. And that being said, it's good news, bad news, right? So we don't have, that network effect that, Raul Paul talks about, and so, but because we're in so early, we're accumulating, that's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing, right? We're in that early, and when, Forex does, once we get the animal farm launched, and I'll talk about that in a second, and this thing starts taking off, and the price action alone is going to draw attention, but when he starts the actual marketing, and a lot of other good YouTube content providers have talked about, that we haven't done anything. This has all been just word of mouth, right? And so, and with, just content providers, YouTube content providers, that's good. So, again, though we may be small, I'm just going to play a little clip for you, and I'm going to turn this up. But one of my favorite movies is also Seabiscuit, but I'll just play this for you.
That's who we're riding for, folks with a quarter in their pocket.
If you didn't hear that, you can look it up in that scene. It's Tobey Maguire playing Red, who's the jockey for Seabiscuit, one of my other all-time great movies that I just love, especially for those of us who have, not been have been down and out and counted out. That's just a great uplifting movie. Though he be small, he be fierce, and though we be small, the Drip community, though we be small, we be fierce. And it is a good thing. It is bullish for us. I'm very excited, again, for the size that we are and how strong we are at the size we are. It's only going to get better once the animal farm is launched. Which brings me to bullet point number 2. I know that there was a post that, by the end of August, we'll have a date. So it's basically like at work when people schedule a meeting to have a meeting, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It's the same thing, right? It's the assistant to the regional manager versus the assistant regional manager. If you watch The Office, you'll get that reference as well, right? It's nothing right now, and there's no guarantee that it'll be hit then, right? And I still am concerned about BB not being there to actually drive results, which the last results we got were for pigs. Right? And so I think there's a struggle there, and I'm not going to beat this dead horse. But be careful. The reason I'm bringing this up is to be careful when you're buying this FOMO when we don't have a firm date yet. I think this weekend, keep an eye on, the pricing of drip and pigs. It's great that it's gone up, but I want you to be careful. Before we thought there was going to be an announcement last week, or the week before maybe, the price just plummeted again after it kind of pumped up, and then after we found out there was no date, things started dropping again. So be careful when you buy. And if we're still at really good prices, even sub 10. I'm not telling you to buy. This is not financial advice, as I mentioned. But, maybe consider dollar cost averaging, or daily cost averaging. It's don't just ape in is what I'm saying. Be careful. Put a little bit in, test it out if you're brand new. If you want to put a couple $100 in, you can still get some decent, value at a couple $100. If you put $100 in for drip and $100 into the garden, and or $100 into the piggy bank, all are really good platforms within the drip ecosystem and animal farm ecosystem. But just be careful how much you're putting in right now, because again, you'll be, a little bit hurt, if you buy it at $9-10 right now, and then because of the delay of the animal farm date, drops back down to $4 or even $2, right? So just got to be careful right now. I think once we get a date, then great, but just understand what you're getting into, and right now with not having a firm date, there's still can be some volatility on top of the markets. I know the markets are rallying a little bit as well, and that's driving up price. The market, the employers are still talking about layoffs and about how tough it is, and I think that we've just kind of seen a bear market rally here. So from a macro perspective, anyway, not going to again touch on that. I'm just saying be careful. We still don't have a firm date. We're off by a couple of months now. So until you have a firm date, and even once you get a firm date, until that date actually hits, because we've missed firm deadlines before, you got to be careful. All right. Another thing, I do have that playlist, and I will be for Flare Network and Songbird. Songbird is the canary network for Flare. It actually has value, but they kind of test and roll things out there. It's kind of like a House and Senate. Songbird is the House, and Flare is the Senate. So these are actually governance tokens as well, and you earn passive income by owning these and delegating your votes. I'm not going to explain the whole Flare network here, just because it's way too long, and I do have that Flare network playlist, but listen, I'm earning yield on Songbird every single week, right? I think I have 43,000 Songbird tokens, and they're like 2.5 cents right now. And I'm earning about 220, 230, depending on the Oracle, or the Oracles, the Flare time series Oracle providers, the FTSOs, depending on how well they're doing with their data validation. I'm earning about 220, 230 a week, and it's growing because I keep compounding that. And when I get those new ones, I compound those, and it adds to it, right? Similar to kind of how drip operates and works. So I think it's good to diversify, right? Again, I'm very long drip. I'm not a drip maxi. So I'm going to share with you other things that I'm involved with. And I'm also going to start sharing with you, the XRPL and all the projects that are going on there, and how to get I probably have 300 different trust lines in my wallet, and I get airdrops on. There's another stakes. I shared that with you, on that I'm getting, a yield every day, which is awesome, through the stakes platform and protocol. And then just getting those free airdrops. I mean, there's probably one or two different trust lines that are out there, new projects, and they're giving away airdrops. I have over 300, and I've gotten just a ton of airdrops from these new projects that are starting up. And who knows? I think 99% of them will be crap and fade out and die. But if that 1% that I have hits and goes big, and I got it for free, it's just about me checking in every day. I talked about discipline in prior videos, right? And being very disciplined in terms of, being diligent in terms of what you're doing with, and being purposeful about compounding and hydrating, or hyper compounding, or like me going in and making sure I see any new airdrops that are out there, or projects that I get in early, because sometimes they cap them at the first like 20,000 wallets. So that's who gets the airdrops. And by the way, speaking of Flare Network, there are only two. This is a brand new network. It's out on Songbird. That's their Canary network. But Flare is getting ready to launch on September 5th and start their airdrops for the Flare token, FLR, right? And you can check those out on various exchanges in terms of what the pricing is on those. Songbird is SGB and Flare is FLR, right? But there's only two dexes right now on Flare Network and Songbird are going to be, right? Oracle Swap is live, and I'm earning yield there, right? And I'll show you some results here over the next couple of weeks. So I'm earning with it's liquidity pools that you earn. For Oracle Swap, it's the Pro, and Pangolin. I don't know if you have any, but if you own Songbird tokens, they're going to do a snapshot here sometime in August. And if you have the Bifrost wallet set up and you actually have Songbird that you're delegating, they're going to do a snapshot based on the FTOs that you're delegating your votes to, and they're going to give you some tokens as well. And again, I'm sure you'll be able to add to the liquidity pool with Songbird, and it'll be on Flare as well. And Flare is connecting everything. That's their whole goal, right? Seamlessly connecting everything and risk-free, right? So anyway, these tokens stay in your wallet. That's the beautiful thing about it, right? And so you got to do your research. You're going to miss out on this, and you got to stay diversified. But anyway, if you haven't gotten any Songbird, there's a ton of different tutorials out there, for you to set your Bifrost wallet up, and you can figure out a way. You can actually buy Songbird on Uphold, actually. It's pretty easy. And then you just got to send the Songbird to your Bifrost wallet once you get that set up. The same setup as like a MetaMask, right? But it lives on your phone. But again, you can start earning yield that way, and this is before the pricing takes off. I don't know how big, how much Oracle Swap's going to be. I don't know how much Pangolin is going to be in terms of their tokens. But again, I'm just sharing with you some of the things that I'm involved with, and I'm hugely excited about Flare. It's been 2 years in the making, and they've been delayed also, right? So they're not without fault either. But again, this thing is huge. It's got huge buy-in. It's got support from Ripple and XRP. They gave some money in terms of grants to them as well, and it's live now, and it's actually we're getting ready to have the token distribution. And these are the early just like Pancake Swap, right? You see where the price is from Pancake Swap, right? So if you're looking for some, alpha and some, opportunity, do your own research on this. But these are two things that I'm looking forward to. You still have the opportunity to get some free airdrops if you have Songbird, which is only 2.5, 3 cents right now, depending. I haven't looked at the price today, but and Oracle Swap, I'm already generating yield on. So anyway, I have the playlist. Check that out. Start researching Hugo Philion, Flare Network, Oracle Swap, and Pangolin, and do your own research. Now, by Sunday, and I'll just jump over here. I'd like to letting you guys kind of see what's going on with my wallet here. My drip guard. By Sunday, I will be at 650. This thing is just cranking, man. So let me just kind of show you here. Look at how quickly, if you go back on my earlier videos, you're going to see how quickly this drip guard, just stay with it, stay consistent, hydrate, right? So when the animal farm does launch, I'm going to be getting, some pretty good yield. Right now I'm getting, let's go take a look at what my LP is per day. I'm getting 12 LP per day, right? Which is a little bit more than 6 drip, right, per day as well. But the LP, to be able to stake that in the animal farm, is huge. Again, I'm very excited for that. And like I said, by before the end of August, I'll be at 1 million. And I'll be double my current bag. I think 131 at current drip price and current contract. By the way, the contract is going up in the drip garden, which is also helping. And I think people are getting it, and they're starting to. If you haven't gotten in, I mean, you can get a lot of good value from, considering when I first got in, a lot of good value. So. Something to think about, but there is a lot of value here, and if you're long on drip, you got to be long on drip garden as well. And this thing is really kind of a higher risk but higher reward as well, man. I'll tell you what, I think this is the play right here myself, for me personally. This and the piggy bank both are just outstanding. So anyway, do I consider myself a whale at 650? If we look at Dune Analytics, I know everybody likes to do this, right? I'm at about right here. And by the way, I started down here with everybody else, right, in the beginning, and just kept compounding and kept compounding and kept compounding. I remember when I hit this first wave and got past that, and then I hit the second wave, and now here's where I am. I'm going to be at 650 this weekend. I'll pass it, and I will be at this top bar here. It'll be me and 400 or 500 other people, right, that are above 650. Am I a whale? Probably. I mean, does it matter? No, it doesn't. It matters in terms of what I'm generating and what I'm doing here. I think I'll consider myself a whale, if you will, once I hit 1 million, But again, people are going to catch up, But again, it's not about that. You're staying ahead of the game here. And I've worked my way up here. Go back and watch my earlier videos and see where I've compounded and what I started back on, or started out at, I think my earliest one with the thumbnail of my plant total is like 2,000, and I started out lower than that even. So anyway, just something to encourage you all. I like to kind of show the wallets a little bit. Currently at 658 drip, and that's getting good as well. Early September I should be at 800 here. And again, this thing just kind of is going to do the same thing as the garden for me, which I'm very excited about. I'm not putting a whole lot of new capital in, because basically, even when it was at $4 or $10 like it is now, I'm still getting 6 a day. So I am basically dollar cost averaging. So take that for what it's worth. Piston token, price is still $4 or $5. It's doing all right, not a big deal. By the way, my Healing the D is at like 68, 69 bucks. That'll get there soon as well. So anyway, here's my piston token, and then I'll let you kind of peek at. You saw the drip garden, so here's my pig pen right now. Before the weekend's out, I should be at 21 pigs. Not generating a lot, but I compound once a day, on the pigs, regardless of size. I know that it's not a lot of, percentage that I'm getting from this, but it's the compounding of the pigs, right? That's what I want. I know a lot of people like to let it build up, but I want to earn interest as much as possible. I'm not hyper compounding because it's not worth it for me right now. And then I'll let you guys take a look at my piggy bank here. You can kind of screenshot it if you want, or pause the video. And then I'll just show you. I do like, I like both of these tools. I like drip.formulate.finance. I talk about that all the time, and I really love DeFi Buddy as well, just because you can quickly kind of just project if I want to see where I'm going to be, end of September here. I can quickly do that, and it's an approximate. It does not take into account the decay, but if we keep current pricing right now, end of September, not that far away with Drip Garden, I should be at $634 a day, which is not bad, for passive income, right? And here's my piggy banks that you can, same thing, right? You can do the same thing. This is my bigger unlocked piggy bank, right? And so I can let's go to end of September and see what I'll be making here on this one, right? It just gives you a quick snapshot. $133 a day, right? And I've covered my piggy bank strategy in last week's video, and I do that on the first of every month. So I have 2 rounds of it. It's going well. It's going like I thought, and it's getting better since the pig's price is going up as well. My next first, like longer term stake, the first long term one I did, I'll just show you, scroll down. This is projected right now in terms of my daily. If drip is around and the piggy bank's around in a year, by May 11th, I think is when this one will unlock for me. It's not going to be this price because there's going to be decay. Who knows what the contract's going to do, what the price of pigs is going to do, but there is decay built in, just like there is for the drip garden. But even if it's a tenth of this, and I'm making $3,600 a day, even if I'm making $360 a day, not bad, right? So be patient, hydrate, stay true to yourself, know what you own. That's the big thing. Diversify, and again, hang in there. Don't get caught up in what Forex says. I mean, honestly, I'd be surprised if we actually launched in September. Again, I'm not trying to beat the guy up, but I'm just saying he's the one putting it out there. We don't have a date yet. At the end of August is when he said they'll have a date, so they don't even know yet. So. But again, in the meantime, you can still, there's 3 good working, protocols on this network, right? You have Drip, which is 1% a day. You have the Drip Garden, which is doing great, and you have the Piggy Bank. So, and you have Pigpen. Actually, you have 4. You have the Pigpen, which is up and live and working, although there's not a lot coming out of it. So, anyway, have a great Friday. I've been rambling on. It's been a minute, but I wanted to just kind of update you guys. Showed you guys my wallets. I know everyone likes to kind of voyeur in on that, and I like to look at other people's as well. So, be kind to each other. Be kind as you can. Don't be a rug to people. Don't let them walk all over you. But be kind to people, especially those who are struggling and working hard. Again, I want to encourage you. Every time you leave a tip, leave a generous one, and leave Drip Network on there. That's another way. And if you're thinking about starting a YouTube video channel, do that. The more people we have talking about this, the better for everybody, and subscribe to me. I'm going to start now also giving shout outs to the subscribers here. I think Buster Grills, I think, signed up, as a sub. So shout out to Buster Grills. He does great work, and he shared that he's from Chicago area. So my sister lives there. Detroit and Chicago are kind of, sister cities, and good rivalries, good sports rivalries. And, we both have great sports towns, although I'll tell you this, that Michigan has much better university sports, hands down. So anyway, that's all right. It's good rivalry. So anyway, shout out to Buster Grills. I'm sure he doesn't listen to my content all the way through. He's a busy guy, and he's got some big. You want to see some big wallets, man? Go check out his. I'll leave a link to Buster. In this description. He puts out good content. Good dude. By the way, he swears like a trucker sometimes, so if you have kids, you got to be careful watching his stuff, but still a good dude, good content. So anyway, be kind to each other. Have a wonderful weekend. Leave Drip Network on your tip well, and leave Drip Network when you do tip on the receipts, and we will talk to you later.